Hello, friends. The 1,108th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Russian troops have practically cut off most of the Ukrainian bridgehead in the Kursk region from the border. This is evidenced by the deep state map. They continued to advance westward south of Sudzha in the Kirillovka area and broke through almost to the Ukrainian border in the southwestern part of the Ukrainian bridgehead. The advance in the Kirillovka area was reported yesterday. I assume that these were attempts to cut off most of the Ukrainian troops on the Kursk bridgehead from logistics leading from Ukraine. Now almost all the roads to Sudzha and further north are either cut off by the Russians or are under their fire control, which creates major problems with the supply of Ukrainian troops in the Kursk region. Russian military telegram channels also confirm serious advances by the Russian army south of Sudzha. Moreover, the enemy today announced the capture of Novaya and Staraya Sorochina, Nikolaevka and Viktorovka, as well as fighting in the village of Malaya Lochnia. The Russians published a video of raising their flags in Staraya Sorochina and Nikolaevka. The Russian army also captured Novinkyi in the Sumy region near the Kursk bridgehead of the Ukrainian armed forces, according to a report by Deep State. The Ukrainian military telegram channel writes that the Russians in Novinkyi are already accumulating and trying to move south to Basivka, beyond which the path to the Sudzha checkpoint will open, with the aim of physically blocking the logistics coming from Yunikivka. Russia has a quantitative advantage here, and it creates its own difficulties. It is worth noting separately that the enemy has an advantage in drones, both reconnaissance and strike. The most frequently used FPV drone, they are mainly used to carry out fire control of everything that moves in or out of the Kursk region. How this will all end is unknown. Unfortunately, we often have a recurring habit of not noticing problems that eventually develop into bad consequences. The reason is unknown. We will follow the developments. Only the command and no one else has the competence and ability to make decisions. The defense forces on the ground are making every effort to first stop the enemy's advance, interrupt their accumulation, and then push them back, writes Deep State. Russia's advance in the Kursk region is forcing Ukraine to consider the possibility of withdrawing its troops from there to avoid encirclement, writes Politico. The publication writes that Ukrainian commanders will soon have to make a difficult decision to continue the defense or retreat. A mistake in choosing the moment can lead to encirclement and loss of troops. Politico cites the opinion of military analyst Yevhenii. According to him, in recent days the course of the battle in the Kursk region has radically changed. The Ukrainian command will have to make a choice. Leave the Kursk region, completing the operation and preserving forces, or hold on, risking losing everything. The only real reason to hold the Kursk bridgehead is to use it as a bargaining chip in future negotiations. However, the loss of a significant number of experienced troops and advanced equipment in a protracted defense could seriously weaken Ukraine's military potential in other regions, Matveyev wrote on social media. Ukrainian soldier Artem Karyakin writes that Russia has transferred some of its best drone crews to the Kursk region, which are managing to seriously hamper Ukraine's logistics and maneuver space. Our forces are experiencing difficulties in delivering ammunition and food. Evacuating the wounded has become a dangerous and lengthy process. Some soldiers had to replace each other on foot since transport could not pass, Karyakin writes. Reuters also writes about the difficult situation for the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kursk region. The agency reports that thousands of Ukrainian troops who made a surprise invasion of Russia's Kursk region last summer have found themselves almost surrounded by Russian troops. This was a serious blow to Kiev, which hoped to use its presence in the region as leverage on Moscow in possible peace talks, Reuters notes. The agency writes that Ukraine's situation in Kursk has deteriorated sharply over the past 3 days. Russian forces have recaptured significant territory in an offensive that has nearly cut the Ukrainian group in two, and cut off the main force from its main supply routes. The New York Post, citing Ukrainian military officials, reports that Ukraine's armed forces could be withdrawn from the Kursk region within 2 weeks. The publication writes that Ukraine's 7-month foray into Russia's Kursk region is on the verge of collapse after Moscow's forces broke through Kiev's defenses near the Russian town of Sudzha on Friday. Military officials fighting in Kursk told the Post that Kiev could abandon its bold operation in as little as 2 weeks, citing limited access in and out of the region. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. I also want to ask you to leave comments. This helps promote the channel. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.